change, right? Like, there is a cost associated with climate change. Like, how much money would it cost to stop climate change? Estimates of how much money it would take to end global climate change range between 30 billion and 50 trillion over the next two. Yeah. Okay, it's imaginary anyway. Like 300 billion? Who gives a fuck? That's like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk combined, right? Eat them. Just fucking eat them, right? How to halt global warming for 30 billion. No, stopping global warming will cost 50 trillion. Yeah, it's imaginary pocket change. This is the thing. Like, we're so caught up in this neoliberal grift, in this idea that money actually exists and that money is actually a thing, right? But it isn't. It's not. It doesn't matter. It's not real, right? And like, if the financial system disappeared tomorrow, if it suddenly evaporated, we'd still have all the infrastructure, we'd still have all of the stuff, we'd still have the buildings, we'd still have all of the things that actually make our civilization a real civilization, right? So, like, why are we bothering with this? Like, why are we pretending like we need it? It's unbelievable to me that we're just doubling down on this insane, psychotic story of just like, and this is how future generations, should there be any, like, are going to look back. They're going to be like, really? They fucking destroyed everything and caused all these problems over, like, little IOUs? Like, literally, like, a little IOU that, like, they shuffled amongst one another. And they found ways to take their IOUs and then make their IOUs make more IOUs. And then those IOUs generated more IOUs, and then creating more IOUs became the goal. And they all started saying, how do we make more IOUs? How do we get more of that? And the person who got the most IOUs got to shoot himself into a rocket into space. Like, what? Like what? It's beyond insane. Like, it's beyond insane, right? That it's beyond delusional now. I don't know what to call these guys. This is my, like, this is a little side project that I have right now, right? And I don't know what to call these guys because it's beyond delusional, right? It's beyond psychotic. Like, it's beyond this. There has to be something to call these guys that has gone beyond the state of delusion or psychosis or sociopathy or psychotic delusion or even religious fervor, right? It's even beyond that, right? Like, we're in a state now where it's so. It's like the abstractness of it that I don't know what to call them. I don't know what we should call them. Because there seems to be no word that has ever been invented to attempt to capture the grotesque absurdity of a culture that is literally going to destroy all of humanity for nothing. For papers, not even papers, just numbers written on the screen, as if I just, like, walk up to a screen and go, and this is the most important thing in the world, and we're supposed to take it seriously, and we're supposed to believe that, and, like, it's delusion on a scale that is, like, beyond biblical. It's like, it's rooted in nothing. It's created by us. It's like we created a god and said of this god, if we worship this god enough, this god will be our salvation. But we created it, and it's a god of nothing. It creates nothing. And it demands that you sacrifice everything to maintain it. That's the god of capitalism. It creates nothing, it distributes nothing, and yet you have to sacrifice every aspect of yourself and then ultimately your life in order to maintain it. What do you call such a god? What name do you give to such a god? Because it's even beyond chaos, right? It's even beyond, it's beyond these sort of concepts. Like, it demands that it exists, and it demands that it is destroyed. It's a paradox wrapped in wrapped in oblivion. It just doesn't. It's illogical. It's irrational, and and I don't know what you even call such a thing. And the adherents of it, what do you even call them? Like, because saying that they're capitalists is no good. Because then the fucking morons who are like, oh, I have a small business that I work at every day, and I'm the same as Jeff Bezos. Like, it's just like a deranged, supernatural. And it's like, I keep using words like demonic, and I keep using but it's not that. It's even bleaker and darker than that itself. Like, we're talking about like a force that exists within the deep consciousness of humanity that is more ancient and disgraceful and horrific than even the darkest bowels of hell itself. That it's like the Dark Lord Cthulhu. It's like an unspoken, unknowable darkness and an unspoken, unknowable evil. One that demands a perpetual state of total destruction in order to maintain itself, so that ultimately it itself may be destroyed. And it is like the manifestation of the death instinct that exists in all of us. What the French called a call to the void. That we all have inside of us this natural desire to return to the void. And I feel as though that is what has finally overwhelmed us. That we want this to happen. We want society to no longer exist. That our existence itself has become so unbearable that we're finally just throwing our hands up and declaring an end to it however we can. And because this instinct is so deep inside of our consciousness, the child men who run this place, who have no connection to their emotional selves, are unable to understand that such a thing even exists, let alone understand that this force has seized hold of them and is controlling them and is leading them to their own destruction, to the level that they're willing to turn around and say of the people who are begging and pleading of them to stop that we are the nihilists. We are the ones who are seeking destruction. Not the ones that are actually doing the destruction, but the ones who are attempting to stop it. What do we call these people? What possible language could we use to describe their betrayal and their treason and their treachery? Like, it's fratricide what they're doing. They're killing even their own children. It's a crime as bad as any crime can be. There's nothing on the scale in recorded history. What do we call these guys? What do we say? What name do we give them? So that when we write their stories down in legend and lore, should there be any survivors, we know what name to say to evoke fear, to evoke a sense of awe and mystery in the hearer and the listener. It used to be that you could say the devil and people would shake. You could say the name of Lucifer. You could evoke the name of Voldemort in hushed tones. What name shall we give these men so that the populace will shrink away? What name could we point and say, oh, they're acting just like this, so that the populace can understand in a heartbeat that what they are seeing is an evil so deep and dark that it is beyond evil. It penetrates into a level of consciousness that permeates in such a dark place that evil itself has yet to even be invented. Perhaps that's why we can't stop this. Because the language that we need to use in order to stand in their way simply does not exist. It has yet to be created. And maybe that's what we're here to do. Maybe that's what we're here to do. Well, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Gotta ruin it all with some fucking capitalism, eh? Be sure to like, share, subscribe. My stupid Patreon to give me these fake money dollars is in the thing below. Please give me a buck. Right? If I touched your soul with my speech, maybe think about, donating $1. If you donated $1, maybe donate $2. I fucking hate that shit. I hate that I gotta do that shit. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the platform. Ugh. Each and every one of you is a divine being living in divine energy. These guys spend hundreds of billions of dollars in order to gaslight us and pretend as though these issues are not happening, rather than spend a single penny to help ameliorate even a moment of this misery. Don't let them. Good luck. We're going to need it.